kind of following on from the whole attention thing, it's God, he's going at some fucking speed, isn't he? Can you see that down there? Jesus Christ. It's absolutely flying. I need to get myself one of those. Yeah, it kind of takes the sting out of it. It's the same with, every kind of part of this programme. If you're a target, or a targeted individual, or a, chosen one, whatever it is that you want to call yourself, it's kind of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. It's all the same thing, just with different names, really. Yeah, once you kind of realise that every bit of this is designed to piss you off, whether it be the noise campaigns or the kind of smear campaigns or the product placement, as I call it. I don't hear very many people talking about that, so I will go into that maybe today, but possibly not. Well, what I mean by product placement is it's kind of the things that they put in your way for you to notice, especially if you're going out to work every day. I found it, because I don't work anymore, I've always worked as well, and that fucking annoys me really, but they took that away from me, so I have had a few little jobs since then, but the same shit always happens, so it's just, I don't know, sometimes you need to kind of take care of yourself and just kind of take yourself out of these situations for your own health, for your own head. And I was always someone that really enjoyed working. I was good at my job. I was really good at my job, and I don't mean that in a big-headed type way that people go, oh, you've got such a big ego, because absolutely nothing could be further from the truth. But I know I was good at my job, and the people around me knew I was good at my job as well. And I think that actually pissed some of them off. They did not like that at all. So if anyone's got an ego, it certainly wasn't me. But anyhow, yeah. But yeah, the product placement, if you're someone that's going out to work, and because it's easy for me to say, ignore everything, just turn a blind eye to it and don't pay it any mind. But I totally understand if people are going out to work and they're, you're trapped in a place you've got to be at regularly. You can't just kind of be spontaneous and decide where you're going at that exact moment. You've got a set schedule, and you have to kind of be in an environment with these people, and trapped, for want of a better word. You've got no escape. So I understand that in that situation, ignoring these things isn't always possible. And for me personally, that when I had to be at a certain place at a certain time work-wise, then the product placement, as I call it, I don't know. Like I said, I've never heard anyone really mention this before, and I've watched a lot on gang stalking and targeted individuals on YouTube. A lot of channels, a lot of good advice, but maybe it has come up. It's just been referred to as something different, and I haven't quite picked up on it. But yeah, if you're in a kind of routine where you have to go out and work, and you have to be in a certain place with these people, you're trapped, aren't you? There's no escape from it, and the likelihood is that the things sent in to piss you off are going to be more and more, because they know you're a kind of sitting target, aren't you? So yeah, what I mean by product placement is just putting things around you for the purpose of fucking with you, basically. I can't think of a better word than fucking with you. Just putting things in your eyesight, or things that you would pass on a daily basis, just to screw around with you, just to let you know. And I mean, for me, I'll kind of give you a rough example. Well, like I said, I don't like to kind of say what, the words and the phrases that they use, or the colours, or, the different things that they'll do, because I don't know, it's kind of like admitting that this shit annoys you, and that they're succeeding in irritating you by doing it. So yeah, I think it's sometimes best to keep some of these things close to your chest and not say. But yeah, for example, if you're using, I'm trying to think of like a kind of vague example, but obviously if I give a vague example, then it's the perfect opportunity for people to go, oh, that's a bit fucking vague, isn't it? Maybe you are paranoid. You're reading too much into the situation. So I mean, you can't fucking win, can you, really? But say for example, I was working at this place, and the first day or few days was fine, and then all of a sudden, in the toilet, this last year at a staff toilet, there appeared the exact same deodorant brand that I use, plus there'd been hand soap in there, and the hand soap, which was half full kind of 2 days previously, was replaced with this alcoholic hand gel. And I'll go into that later, but alcohol is featured very much in my life for a long time. So, and there was another can of like deodorant or body spray that hadn't been there before, and it was just the kind of, not even the brand of it, it was the actual, so is it called a flavour, the scent of it, which was on the side of the can. That was quite significant as well. So I mean, that kind of shit, I do have better examples, but again, I would have to kind of go kind of much deeper in, and I don't really want to give that kind of power away to anybody. I feel like it plays right into their hands if you do that. So maybe in time, look, it's a monkey. That's what happened to Bubbles. I don't know how that stays on there. It must be, I think it's zip tied or something. Zip ties, the favourite of the rapist. Or the murderer, the prostitute killer. They love zip ties, don't they? You should always be cautious if you ever see anyone buying zip ties. It always makes me laugh. I used to watch kind of true crime documentaries, and it always made me laugh because the police would always find the receipts. I don't know if that's a setup or not, because excuse me, you would have to be kind of a bit stupid, wouldn't you, to leave the receipt behind, but they would always be for the same things, and it always included zip ties, and we call them bin bags, but I don't know, trash bags, or black bags for your rubbish, and a brand new spade. So there's the certain things that they always buy, and they always buy them together as well. It's not like they kind of spread it around over different shops, stores. That's funny. Excuse me. I'm walking much slower than I usually do, and I'm not a fast walker by any means. Like I said, I'm fat and unfit, and if I was a racehorse, they'd have shot me by now. But I'm trying to kind of walk slow so that I don't lose my breath quite as bad, but yeah, I struggle. Hence the reason why it's good to go out. You know, it can only improve things. Going for a walk, you always hear that advice, don't you, about people that are suffering with depression or whatever, and you know the advice is to kind of go out for a walk. And I understand that some people, he's already been past me once, maybe he was looking for someone or something. Like I said, I don't like to accuse every single person in the whole world of being a part of this, but you just don't know, do you? Yeah, I mean, if you have the ability, it's always beneficial to get out there and go for a walk, regardless of how short that is. You know, you don't have to walk miles and miles. There's nobody's saying that you do. You just to get outside for even a 10-minute stroll at your own pace. It can't do you any harm. It's like when they say to people with depression, you know, I've never heard anyone that's kind of felt worse for doing a little bit of exercise. It's always a good thing. It's never going to, you know, even if it doesn't help you, you're not going to feel any worse, really. And I think it's all kind of connected, you know, the mind and the body, and it's all, you don't really ever see those people that are really active and into fitness that kind of really take care of themselves. You know, they never really look like they're kind of down in the dump. Maybe I'm generalising here, so you know, that's probably not the case. I'm sure plenty of them have been through things, but I think it can only really do you good, can't it? There's no harm in it. And like I was saying earlier, I got stuck in a slump, and I didn't want to go outside and leave the house. So I totally understand that. I understand, you know, where people are coming from when they feel that way. But you know, once you get closed in and you do that for a series of weeks and then months, and it just becomes harder and harder. It becomes a hurdle that's more and more difficult to overcome. So sometimes you just need to push yourself and, I don't know, make yourself feel uncomfortable, because that's the only way it's going to change, is you put one foot in front of the other. Or, you know, not necessarily going out for a walk, even just if you're not physically able, or for whatever reason you do have a really, really you know, great fear of going outside, then I'm not trying to take anything away from that. That's very real for people, and it's not I'm not trying to be flippant by just saying, oh, you know, get a grip of yourself and just go outside. I don't mean it in that way. I'm saying if you're kind of physically and mentally able to go out, and it's just a case of mind over matter, then it's always a good thing. But if you can't, I mean, even just being indoors and kind of doing some, I don't know, like arm raises or something, it's got to be better than kind of doing nothing, you know. It definitely helps with the overall picture of feeling slightly better. It's 50 minutes again, this a fucking pain in the hole, isn't it? But yeah.